fight for immigrants and at-risk elders, and to make sure justice is done in every single case. It is a job I take extremely seriously. It's why I've done it for 21 years. It's why being a leader from a very early point in my career is something that I've learned from, grown from, and still do every day. But I know firsthand how important it is to have experience in that role. There's too much at stake. As a leader of 87 people, with the power and responsibility that we have in the district attorney's office, for anything less. And it's that experience and the ability to form partnerships that helps us advance the criminal justice system. Because we have to do more and we have to do better. That's why we set up the mental health diversion program, the first DA conviction integrity unit in the state, the first workplace sex assault task force. Because these are things that I've been passionate about throughout my entire career. And now I, as your district attorney, have the opportunity and the privilege to make these changes. These are things where, as a young prosecutor, I was standing in court at 2 o'clock in the morning with homeless people cycling in and out of the criminal justice system, or women from Chinatown who didn't speak a lick of English, who were clearly being trafficked, cycling in and out on low-level prostitution cases. And I would stand there and think, we can do better. This is not how the system should work. And that's why when you look through my career and look through the reforms I've worked on for many, many years, including an award from the Innocence Project for the work I've done. It's the one award that hangs on my wall, because it's a reminder to me and to the staff that our mission is to do justice every single day. There's no greater honor in my career than being your district attorney. We have an opportunity, I have an obligation to make the office and the system work better. And I can promise you, I'm going to do it every day, tirelessly. Thank you.
So I'm very proud to be a Boulder Democrat and to have fought for Boulder County for so long. And I want to just set the stage a little bit, because I find when I'm speaking with folks, they're a little bit confused as to why we're even having a district attorney election now anyway. Shouldn't it be during the presidential elections like it always is? And the reason we're here in the first place is because the prior district attorney resigned early. The governor made an interim appointment, but the voters ultimately are going to decide. You are ultimately going to decide. And Boulder County is ultimately going to decide. Not the governor, but Boulder County is going to decide who's actually going to fill out the rest of the term. As I've been fighting on behalf of Boulder County over the last decade, and particularly over the last 6 years as your state legislator, one thing has become clear, and that's, what are the community values? I've done over 50 town halls as a state legislator, listening to folks, what they want us to focus on. And what they want us to focus on, of course, is public safety and all the things that are consistent with that. Immigrant protection, that comes from community conversations. It comes from people saying, what should you be focusing on? And the district attorney listening to that. Mental health and drug diversion. The community supports that. And we should make sure that we do whatever we can to make the system better in that regard. Environmental protection is something that this community cares deeply about. And I want to correct the record a little bit about what was just said a couple questions ago. I have been very straightforward with the statutory authority that the district attorney has to prosecute these cases. I've cited statutes. I've cited case law. There is authority there. But just like the Immigrant Protection Initiative that started a few years ago after our current president was elected, just like restorative justice programs that were started a couple of years ago from state funding mainly, just like diversion programs, you have to do something a little bit different than what's been done before. And that's what I'm proposing with doing environmental crime prosecutions. The status quo, unfortunately, has been that the state should take care of it. The district attorney has nothing to do with it. And that is unfortunate. And the state, particularly under our current administration, and particularly under our current attorney general, has failed. We need to pick up the slack and do environmental protection because it's consistent with what this community wants. If there's one thing I've learned, protecting Boulder County and fighting on behalf of Boulder County, is we need to do things consistent with what Boulder County thinks is appropriate. So thank you very much for being here. Of course, I'd love to earn your support in this election coming up.
I want to thank personally Ellen and Katie for first inviting me and letting me be part of this. It was tremendous. I really enjoyed it. and thank you all for being here. I want to commend both of these candidates for their candor and their refreshing ability to answer questions. We're all about to endure a full election season. I've already watched a few larger level debates and had to turn off the volume. So thank you to both of you for that. But to all of you who attend, and this race in particular, I would just say that your interest and sincere tracking of this race as a community speaks volumes about who you are. And it is refreshing, it is encouraging to me at a time when law enforcement and prosecutors in general are under siege many times in the press and media, that you recognize the value of what either one of these men want to do for you. They are both high-quality individuals. Boulder will be in good hands. So again, thank you for letting me do this.